What's your dumpster diving DIYers? It's Walker with DIWHY.LIFE, and in this episode we are going to be checking out some acoustic wood wall panels by woodpanelwalls.com and Core Minded. Recently, Remy and I were taking a walk around the complex here, and something caught my eye hanging out of the dumpsters. Yeah, I know, my raccoon instincts are coming out again, but it was wrapped in plastic, which meant it was brand new and hadn't been opened, and I saw the words wood panel wall on the side, so I was like, this sounds interesting. So I pull it out, and lo and behold, it's this beautiful slatted wood wall panel that's almost 10 feet tall. Thing is huge and 16 inches wide. These things go for about $200 a piece. I looked it up on woodpanelwalls.com, and yeah, this one's about $200 a piece. Now I've been looking for a backdrop to go behind my editing station to give me a cool design, background for when I'm doing the webcam stuff. And I have been kind of thinking of a couple different ideas, and now that I found this, I was like, all right, well, maybe I can get a couple more and fill out the wall and turn it into a cool background. But at $200 a pop, I was like, that's gonna be like $1,000. So I decided to see if there was a cheaper alternative, and that's where I found this panel from Core Minded off Amazon. Now, this one's only 7 feet tall. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit, it's a little more narrow. It's only 13 inches wide versus the 16. And I think this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 panels versus like 10 or something. 11 panels on that one. But the specs are exactly the same. The width of the slats is the same. The grooves in between is the same. And they interlock and match up just perfectly. So they're basically spec'd exactly the same, and they're interlocking and they'll work together. The color of the panel I found was, this real washed out kind of white oak. And then, so I found one. I wanted to get one that I thought was a good color match. And I think this one turned out to be pretty darn close. It's not exact, but I think it's close enough. These things are marketed, you put a whole bunch of them together and you fill a whole wall, and it makes an amazing design statement. I mean, they're gorgeous. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the rooms with these in them, but it just really makes a modern statement in a room. And behind your entertainment center, like behind your TV, and making that like a cool statement wall is really neat with these things. Or behind your webcam doing your your video conferencing. This is good for that too. Now, they're marketed as acoustic wall panels, suggesting that they have some acoustic, noise reduction properties. And if you look in between real close, they are made of they do have like a fiberboard backing that's kind of wrapped in like a felt material to kind of give it some sound absorbing properties. However, I think the noise reduction and the sound absorption is a pretty minimal feature for these things. I think their biggest feature is just their looks. I mean, they're gorgeous. So we'll do some testing. We'll install the panels behind my workstation over here at the studio. We'll do some tests. We'll see what the sound is like before and after. If you haven't seen the video that I did on these foam acoustic wall tiles, check that out up here. These things are a very cost-effective way to reduce room tone or reverb or echo, whatever you want to call it, in your space pretty quickly and effectively. I'm working on a new video with these guys coming up very soon, where I change up the install method a little bit. Instead of gluing them, see all the glue on the back here, instead of gluing them directly to the wall, I'm going to be gluing them to some cardboard, 4x8 cardboard sheets, and then grommeting those and hanging those up on the wall. It's a little bit more of a modular design, and having had to put these up and ripped them down 3 or 4 different times, you know, as I moved to different studios. I've got a little smarter, so I put up these, I'm going to put up these big wall panels of acoustic wall tiles as a much more flexible option. So yeah, and when that video is done, check that one out up here too. So to get these things installed in my space, the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to cut down this big, oh man, you can't even see the top of it. It's so huge. And I bet you if I turn it sideways, I don't even think I can get this whole thing in the frame. Maybe. Maybe, can you see both ends? Possibly. This thing is ginormous. First thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to cut this one down to 7 feet to match the other panels. Let's DIY this thing. Let's do it. Oh, one thing I forgot to do is the sound test before. Well, let's see if we can stand over here. Check, check. I hear a little bit of slap back from that wall. Can you pick it up? Check, check. I got a little ahead of myself, and I think as I was screwing this panel in, it was slowly kind of moving away from its mate, and so now there's like a bigger gap that I'm noticing right here between these 2 panels. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna pull the screws out, all but the one in the upper corner, try to scooch in that corner and then re-secure it. Much better. It's good to know that you can fix your mistakes. You can back out all the screws, kind of scooch it over, and then re-screw it in, and you could never tell that I did that. I made that adjustment, so that's good. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to get 4 or 5 panels down the road and then realize that panel is off a little bit, because then that's a pretty big mistake. So if you see something is off, fix it right away versus thinking maybe I can live with it. Just fix it right away, because it'll bug you by the time you get to the end. There we go. We're all done. That was pretty easy actually. It took about, I don't know, 45 minutes, like an hour maybe. It looks great. I think it looks awesome. Pretty impressed. All right, so we'll do the sound check again. Check, 1, 2. Sound, echo, check. Reverb. How does it sound? Does it sound any better? I think it actually does sound, hello, hello. Reverb, echo, echo. I think it actually does sound probably like 25% better if I had to guess. I bet you if you did the math and you calculated how much of the surface of the panel is the felt material, and I bet you it would come out to like almost 25%, 20-25% of the panel is the felt. So I would say that it probably reduces the reverb, the room tone, about 20 to 25%. If I had to make a put a mathematical number on it, I would say probably about 20-25%. But I mean, the real reason why you want to do this is because it just looks cool. And look how cool it looks. Here's how the wall panels look when I'm on my calls. You know, it looks pretty cool. Now that this side is looking all cool, I can turn this a little bit like that. That actually doesn't look too bad. Get rid of it altogether, and then when my guitar is hanging right there, that could look better. That is about all the time we have for this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions about the acoustic wood wall panels, please leave them below in the description. And we'll see you next time.
It's not a project unless you bleed, right?